We will reconvene to open session. Sorry for the slight delay. We are on item 6, the consent agenda, which includes the April 8th, 2024 regular board meeting minutes, open and executive session. And we have the treasurer's report. And the treasurer still is Mr. Lampier.
The summary of the treasurer's report as of April 30th, 2024, general fund. General account on April 30th, 2024, there was a balance of $3,107,991.61 in cash and investments. Receipts since the 1st of May and not included in the April 30 balances are $25,594.40, and the disbursements for tonight's May 6th board meeting total $123,959.18. Flexible spending account on April 30th, 2024, there was a balance of $28,726.07 in cash and investments. In the health reimbursement account on April 30th, 2024, there was a balance of $6,249.39 in cash and investments. The debt service fund on April 30th, 2024, there was a balance of $674.07 in cash and investments. And for your review, there is a more detailed report on fund activity included in the financial statements.
Thank you for this meeting. Item 6C is the payment of invoices, and all board members have an opportunity hopefully to look at the invoices and if they have a question, call Mr. Cotter. Item D, resignations and employment/retirement.
Yeah, we have a Emily McKay, a bus driver, will be resigning effective June 6, 2024. Carrie Radloff, paraeducator at Iron River, is currently serving as a substitute administrative assistant at NES. In retirements, we have Barb Knoll, our library media paraeducator at NHS, is retiring after 19 years of employment in the district. We want to say congratulations to Mrs. Knoll for her service to the district.
Employment, yeah.
We would like to hire Alexis Landhier as our next associate high school principal. Ms. Landhier holds an exercise science degree with minors in both sports management and coaching from UW Superior. She's also has a master's degree in sports management from the University of Minnesota State at Mankato, and she holds a K-8 elementary education teaching certification. And she is enrolled in the administrative licensure program at the administrative licensure program at UW River Falls. She's a well-respected young lady down in the Chippewa Valley area, and we're very excited to bring her on board in that role. We also have Beth Fletcher-Cotter, you might know, will be coming on as a special ed teacher at the high school, and is Marissa Zicki, full-time occupational therapist, and she has been filling in for Stephanie Ryan while she's on maternity leave. We're excited to have her come on, and also Tara Grams for 2 hours per day, special education educator and part-time full-time. So we are looking for approval of these people.
Part of the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 7, report from forensics on the state competition.
Everyone. All right, I just wanted to give a report on the forensics trip down to Madison. We went down on the 19th of April, and we had a team of 9 this year. It was pretty small, but 8 out of the 9 qualified for state competition. And we took the van down and checked into our hotel in Madison. And as a team, we went out on State Street, and it's such a great experience that I remember as a participant myself when I was on the forensics team So to kind of get out of the county and see some things that we wouldn't normally see and try some food that we wouldn't normally try. We just had a fantastic time, great time on the way down there. And then we went to bed early that night after some pool fun and whatnot. And then we went to DeForest High School the next morning early for one round of competition. And 2 of our 8 received bronze medals. And we had a group of 3, Francesca was part of that group, and another participant gets silver medals. And these 2 seniors got gold medals. And we had just a great time. It's a really valuable experience. And on behalf of Mrs. Lustry and myself, I just wanted to personally thank you all for your continued support. It's a great tradition, and it's the team that's been here for a long time, so we really appreciate it. I don't know if you 2 wanted to say anything, or?
I'm Annika, I'm senior. I won gold this year with my humorous solo acting piece. And I don't know, I just like to say that like Forensics State is one of the things that I usually look forward to. This is my 3rd year in forensics. And it's just a really, really fun time to go out there and you get to see different schools, you get to meet different people, see a whole bunch of different pieces. Like I really like meeting other people and getting together.
Hi everyone, my name is Mateo Stoffnecker. I also received gold with my, I did poetry about mental health. Along with Annika and Mr. Hallback, I really like the diversity that comes from venturing down there. Listening to everybody's pieces and like hearing what everyone like thinks about and what they want to focus on while talking is just, it's very interesting to see like all different walks of life coming together.
Really fun.
So again, thank you very much for your support.
Thank you for coming to the board. Okay, item 8, we're on approval items. A is the request from Charlie Hessel, volleyball coach, for 10 to 14 varsity players to attend the 2-day volleyball tournament in Onalaska, Wisconsin, on August 27th to 29th, 2024. Mr. Hessel.
I'll turn it over to
I'm Addison Hanson, I'm a junior, and I'm Shelby Hessel, and I'm a sophomore, and we are the captains of the volleyball team, and we'd like to ask for your permission to attend a 2-day tournament in Onalaska on August 28th and 29th. This tournament would require a 2-night stay. We'll travel to Onalaska on August 27th, as our first match is at noon on the 28th. It's a 4-hour drive, and with our schedule and for our health, we feel it's best to go down the night before we play. We plan to stay at the Stony Creek Inn, which is in Onalaska.
There will be 24 teams in the tournament, which is held at the Omni Center in Onalaska High School. Northwestern has been in the tournament since it started in 2017. This tournament accounts for up to a quarter of our varsity matches for the season. In the past, we have played teams from Middleton, West Salem, Mineral Point, Sparta, Augusta, Bostonville, Blair Taylor, and Stratford, as well as local teams like Cumberland, Ladysmith, and Webster.
The exact cost to attend the tournament is unknown at this time. It will depend on the number of players on the varsity team, but we estimate the cost for lodging and meals to be around $2,100. We will be fundraising during the first 2 weeks of our season in order to pay for our hotel and food.
In addition to asking permission to spend 2 nights, we are also asking the district to cover transportation costs as it has in the past. We plan to travel using the 2 school vans, which have a total estimated cost of $720. Thank you for considering our request. Do you have any questions?
How many coaches would you like?
All 3 of us.
All 3, so that maybe drive the van?
Yep.
Okay.
Is it just varsity?
Just varsity. And then anyone who suits up varsity, plays JV primarily, but suits up varsity, we tend to take that whole crew.
You're not gonna take anything more than the 2 vans.
No. Maybe throw a couple in the trailer.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's got seatbelts.
Yeah.
So I might have missed it. What was the total number of people you expected were done?
10 to 14 players. It's just looking at what our varsity, I always try to anticipate what our varsity roster could look like. We could be suiting as many as 14 this year. So I think technically we can suit 15, but I always like to try to keep an even number just for warm-up purposes. So we might have as many as 14.
Have you found this beneficial in past years?
I'll let these two
Yeah, I
answer.
think it is, because, well, obviously, we play, our first 8 matches are there, and like, I don't know, it's nice to kind of go there and not be close, so then we can kind of figure out
Right, different
what,
teams.
yeah, and kind of figure out our game, like, away from here, because it may be a little sketchy sometimes, but we usually figure it out after a few matches, but it's really fun and great team bonding, so.
When do you start practice? How long after you're beginning practice?
We start practice on August 19th. So we have, we go Monday through Saturday that first week, then that next week we scrimmage on Monday, and then we'll probably just do a quick film session on Tuesday. That's our first day of in-service, so we'll do a quick film session before we hop in the vans and go down.
This is a great tournament for the girls too. When you go down to Alaska, it's a big school district. You get teams from across the state, but you get teams from the southern part of the state, which competition's a little tougher. Excluding those Washburn and Grand teams of the earlier 2000s. But you have, but it's good for them to see that kind of competition right away, especially playing in Division III, if you want to make a run tournament. So I think this is a good opportunity for everybody.
The first year we went, we played 10 matches, and 8 of them were against top 10 teams in the state among all 4 divisions at the time. So.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? And we need a roll call. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Item 8B, request from Darren Nyhus and up to 6 students to attend the Wisconsin State FFA Convention in Madison, Wisconsin from June 10th to 13th, 2024. Next.
Hi, I'm Gannon Hill. I'm going to be one of the lucky students who get to go down to state convention this year. And we would be, through our own fundraising, funding ourselves in our ways down and back. We just got back from our state competition in Madison. I was on the forestry team. They had us walk in a field and then say, look at the tree. And then we came back and then we were told your tree was wrong. Pretty much about it. We had no idea what we were doing, but it was a very fun experience to learn. And now we are going down to the leadership conference to meet more like-minded individuals and broaden our our scope of becoming a leader and more about the organization.
I'm actually Erickson. I'm a sophomore. I'm also going to be attending Lugo, and like he said, I think it'll be a really good learning experience for all of us because it's from June 10th to June 13th. We have a lot of days to do stuff, and I also think it'd be a lot of fun. It's something that we can do as a club, and it would really help. I think with getting to know each other better, meeting new people.
I'm Kaylee, I'm a junior, and I'm also attending it. And kind of what Ashley said, it's a good learning experience and really puts us out there and gets us more comfortable with FFA and learning and stuff about it. And also it's a good way to wrap up this year of FFA, get us ready for next year. And also for past events we've gone to, they're always I'm not a talkative person, but it puts me out it puts me out there and I have to be a talkative person. I want to be now. And that's it really does a really big impact on all of us. And I've noticed that a lot with all the events I went to throughout the day. So yeah, it should be good.
I'm Francesca Germano. I'm a junior,
So I actually applied for FFA band and I was accepted. So I'll be playing at state convention and at the state fair. I'll be playing at state convention up to 40 pieces. And I play the flute. And then at FFA band at state, it could be more than 40 pieces actually will be performing probably. So there's a lot there. And then I was also part of the floriculture team. And so basically what we did at state was we like set up a flower arrangement like for a whole table. And then we did like napkin arrangements, and then we had plant identification and just kind of similar things to that. And I think it's a really good experience.
Awesome. Where are you staying?
So we're staying in Madison for state convention. So state convention is kind of one part community service, one part leadership skills and workshops, and then one part award ceremony. And so this year we have 5 students that have applied to go down there and participate in it. 4 here are going to be first timers down at the state convention. Like Francesca said, she applied to be in the state band. She's also going to be competing in the art contest that is down there. We have another student who's competing in the art contest as well. Just kind of one of those separate things that state convention allows students to do and experience. There's a college and career fair one day where you get to interact with most of the UW schools, most of the tech colleges in the state, as well as some of the big agricultural science companies that are founded here in the state. In addition to some of the leadership skills workshops that are run by the state officers to help them gather those leadership skills. And I think all 4 of these are applied to be on our officer team here at Mount High School next year. As far as costs, going to be completely covered by the activity fund.
Taking a school band or something?
Yeah, so taking a school band, yep.
The reason I ask is because when I went to the FFA convention, we had the blue jackets. And we were kind of the targets for UW students with the water balloons. When you walk through there, boom.
Yeah.
So that's where.
And the corduroy jackets and water do not mix.
Any questions? Okay, sounds like, I know there's a peer education too. And you can do some bonding and learn things, meet some people, but I'll entertain a motion for.
Make the motion.
Mr. Hurst. Second. Jeanette. Is there any other discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Just want to say thanks for everything you do, Jenny. You do a really good job with the program. Your kids do a great job with us.
Thank you.
Okay, item C, authorization of electronic signature block vendor. Do we need that?
We do.
Yep.
Yeah, the addendum letter I is for the late submission for the DECA, and if you want to move them up a little bit.
Oh, okay, here.
We'll let them get handled. Thank you, boys.
I don't know. Oh,
It's on-
okay, here we go. 8I, we'll change the order here. Request from Northwestern DECA and FBLA chapters for Tennessee State Finance and Investment Challenge Bowl in Madison, Wisconsin, May 14th and 15th.
Yeah, so we went down to Hayward probably 3 weeks ago to compete in the regional portion of this, and this the next part's the state. We got first place. Me and Brandon on the team together, and we won. There was a prize. It was $100, and we split among our group. So, and I've tried to do some research to see what the prize would be at the state competition, but I can't find it anywhere. They don't have it like posted, so it'll be a surprise.
When you win.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last time it was really fun. We got to meet some people that were all wearing suits. We were just kind of showing up jeans and t-shirts, so that felt really good. But I think we did really good. Our second team got third place as well, so they also did well. So it felt really nice to do well.
And we'll be going down on the 14th, staying the night 14th, and then competing the next morning in Madison.
And all the expenses will be covered through the CTE grant.
You have any questions?
Any other questions?
You didn't get that injury at the competition, did you?
No, it wasn't that intense.
For celebrating.
If you need dress shirts at 5.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it sounds awesome. Now, entertain a motion to approve this trip. Yeah, the motion, right, Mr. Burnett?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Cowley. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Wait, we got one more thing.
I did ask permission today to tell you one other thing. So just a quick history lesson. About 5 years ago, we started a Microsoft Office Specialist course, and it's really twofold. The students can go through Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, and then if they do really well, then there's a certification exam that they can take, and the business lab was certified to be an exam lab. And so we've been doing this for 5 years, and this very morning, I received notification that Maria is the Wisconsin State Champion in Microsoft Word due to her exceptional score. Are you ready? Which was 1,000 out of 1,000, right? And she completed the exam in half of the time. They're allotted 50 minutes, and I looked today, hers was 24 minutes and like 12 seconds. So we're pretty proud of you today. So I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna take a minute. You know what? We're just not talking about the Heart of the North Conference, we're talking about the whole state, right? There's probably some teachers that couldn't do that in 25 minutes, okay? That is, it's just so impressive that you sit at this table and you did that and you succeeded at this. I mean, you've got such a great future ahead of you. So, it's okay to take a fall, don't be, very proud.
We'll follow that by item C, authorization of electronic signature block.
There'll be a change because of our clerk.
Okay, we will have a change. So we need a motion to, or anything. Okay, we need a motion to authorize that to do with Mr. Cowley. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to, for the authorization of those signatures.
We have a motion, second, here's a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item D, the 3-year long-term library plan.
All right, so Wisconsin Statute PI 8.012H, Library Media Services state that each school district shall have on file a written long-range plan for library services developed, which has been formulated by teachers, librarian, and audiovisual personnel, administrators, and approved by the school district's board. So we have Brianne is here to go through that with you, just to touch base. It was in your packets. So Brianne, floor is yours.
So this has been approved by the district admin team. We sat and hashed over it for about an hour. It meets the requirements for the Wisconsin State Statute that all districts must have a long-range plan for library services. It provides accountability as a district and as a library department. The overall goal of the library plan is to connect the library goals to the district goals and meet the needs of our staff and students. The framework that I used is called Future Ready Library, and it is used by all Wisconsin school libraries. There are 8 gears surrounding learner literacy that provide guidelines on how libraries can help lead, teach, and support the district. In your printout of the library plan, there's a breakdown of how the district is meeting each gear. There's also recommended that we include challenges that we face related to each gear. This provides documentation in creating a strong program in order to support all students and staff. This document is a working plan and it will be updated yearly for the next 3 school years and posted on our district website. So if there's any questions or any needs of clarification.
Well, excuse me, we'll come back to the board every year?
No, every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming here tonight, and I appreciate the structure that, the way that this is laid out. I think that's really great.
Thank you.
I apologize, I should have teed you this question up earlier, and so if you want to take a pass, I would like to have some perspective on activity, and you can speak in general terms and answer any way you want. But how much is our library getting used?
Daily for it depends on what level we're talking about. The high school.
Let's talk about the high school.
We have kids in there all day, like in and out. Their study halls come in. The students are constantly in there using the printer. It is the Chromebook hub, so if anybody needs any help with their Chromebooks, that's my world as well. We're trying to increase circulation. I'm out of the building a lot this year, so I'm hoping that changes for next year so that I can draw those high school kids into read, because we lose them at about 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah.
So it's hard. So I try to make sure that I have displays and I try to do things that draw them in. Usually it's my mitts. Everybody knows that I have mitts on my countertop. I only replace the bag once a month because otherwise I would go probably do things daily.
I get the sense that it's a good place to study.
Yes.
Using it for that purpose. What I don't have a good feel for is how many kids are actually checking out books.
Our numbers are down, like I said, but we generally do around 5,000 books a year. So.
That's.
Yeah.
No, in my high school.
Oh, just high school?
Yeah. No, there's like 11,000, 12,000 at the elementary level. Oh, yeah, we do have Makerspace as well, which is a program that's running through the libraries now throughout the states. And it provides an opportunity. A lot of kids like to play with toys. So we have the VR headsets using educational things within the VR. They're doing perler beads. They're using 3D pens. A lot of the things I don't step on Charlier's stuff that he does. So we don't do like the big 3D printing, but we'll do the 3D pens. The Legos, we always have a puzzle going. It's a great place for them if they're done with their work to just come out and hang out with their friends and make something. So that's also the bonus. I try to do that on Fridays. Every week I have my kids coming in. We're like, are we doing Makerspace this Friday? And I have to decide whether or not we can work into the schedule or not to do that. So a lot goes on. We're now pulling all of those things into the middle school, so we have those supplies ready to go. It's just a matter of getting that time to get the Makerspace going. Contrary to belief, the high school kids love playing with Legos and blocks and magnetic blocks, and they try to make the biggest towers they can make, and they've been using ladders to see how far they can get. So they are still kids at heart, and that's what we like.
Sounds like a huge improvement from Hog and Oregon trip.
Yes, absolutely.
Haven't they disappeared in 30 years?
It's, you know what, each library is good in their own way. I mean, there's, Brian kind of takes care of those things and it's, and I think this plan is good. When we met, she did a good job of laying it out, and I thought we would go and buy some plan and fix everything that the school would need for the libraries. So I think we're good. We're just looking for it.
Any other questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion for approval for the three-year long-term library.
I'll make a motion to approve the 3-year long-term library.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
By Steve and Mr. Probst. Okay, any other questions? Appreciate you coming here, appreciate the large print. Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item E, next year, 24-25 season 12 shared service Revenue, service contract.
Each year, we have a service contract that we do with CISA 12. The admin team made some final recommendations, and that was on the table for you to look at. We had the first with CISA 12, and Cody and Allison, and went through it. And we went through it with the admin team today, but we are looking for approval of this game. Yes.
Can you explain to me the general admission fee?
General administrative.
Administration, sorry.
So that would probably be, is that their head people?
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you.
monthly meetings like this.
Yeah.
Well, attended by superintendents.
So when we go to the, when I go to the monthly act meetings and that, what they set up for the superintendents.
That's included in that? What else is included?
District support from the superintendent. You would know better.
Yeah, just, I usually have, bi-monthly meetings with Nick, just, then for me, this first year up here in April. Any other questions that I have, with issues.
So it's like a I'll take this right, it's like a superintendent mentor program?
Yeah, that's part of that falls into that as well as the tax stuff, so. But they bring in at PAC meetings, they have, speakers across the state, they have WASB people, they've got some state legislative people, things that are going on, state that's. But you talk about school kids, just us getting together, talk about what the needs of the superintendents in the school districts in the area.
You go somewhere for that, or you just?
PAC meetings are always held at Schwangen,
You go there.
yeah.
And then on the very last page, it's cut off, but I'm assuming that says purchase reflecting discounted rate. What is that? Which one is that? Very last page. It's that 13,845.
Purchase reflecting discount rates, so I think that's, Cody, you know what that is up top?
Off the top of my head, no.
It's probably any purchase of anything that we get from CISA that might be discounted rate. I'll be honest, this is the cheapest CISA contract I've had to work with, is my contract always. Well, we had a lot of, my other schools, we had a lot of services. That's why.
We can just do research on that.
Yeah.
I would be.
If you'd like, you're not ready for this. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not asking to table it. I just, my feelings at CISA are a little bit mixed right now. Based on.
And this contract is a living, breathing thing. You're progressive, we have to add a service, subtract a service, we have to amend the past based on needs, staffing. So our partnerships with CISA, there's some flexibility with that, we appreciate, because the picture we have today on May 6th might not be a picture on January 4th.
We use them for a superintendent search.
Who pays them for that?
We pay the training. Last time we did pay them.
Who do pay something?
The other majority of services others basically have been for specialists in special education, well, audiology, that part of your teacher. So they have those needs, but not enough to staff somebody full time.
I mean, that's what I mean. Everything is broken down by, a line item by services, except those two items that I asked for. So those are the two most significant. That and the other one equate to $30,000 and 40 cents plus. I would appreciate. Well, that means something that for a breakdown of those two items as to what exactly we're getting for that. Or so, I mean, definitely hard of hearing. Okay, I know what we're getting. Well, it's the other stuff that's.
I prefer. I can get that for you.
Wait, within the next one.
Because my question is kind of that cost benefit analysis again. In other words, yes, we're gonna sign up for this, but are we really taking advantage of all these services? That I don't know.
Well,
Was it like a gym membership where I got the gym membership, but I never go there?
well, let's just, talk about this. So when we kind of broke this down a little bit, we went through it and there were some things in there that we didn't need, so. Correct me if I'm wrong, is that?
We've narrowed it down, yeah. I can speak to, maybe I also want to speak to the services that use CISA, those are
We have the definition.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
They're right there.
Yeah, what services we use in the special ed department, like Cody mentioned, the DHH and the,
Sorry.
oh, that's fine. The deaf and hard of hearing and then the audiologist we use. So like Cody said, we don't have enough need to staff anybody in district for that. And then the other one is, let me see how it's worded on here, but it's basically like Mr. Moore was talking about, the coaching program for a special ed director. I think the price on that one was,
Is that the supported special education system?
Most likely, yes.
scrolling, I believe so.
They do change it.
Yeah. And what that is DPI updates monthly, just any support we need in our world for IEP writing or evaluation questions, they're available for that. So I think those are the only costs in my world, right? Oh, one more. The early learning program support. I believe on yours it says just 1 day was needed. I changed that earlier, so it should just be 1 day. And that's the early childhood special ed person at CISA that comes in and works with our teacher and helps support in that role. So we do purchase 1 day for that.
And I don't want to put words in your mouth. You feel like we're getting good value for it.
I do. I think that, there have been recommendations that we should use more days than that, but I think 1 is sufficient.
Thank you.
Any other discussions, questions?
Just I think that, here we don't use them as much as the smaller schools that you were saying, use them a ton, right? They're, like you said, 1 point something. Right, that's really what we revise on. We use them enough and they help us with many things. The small schools really help.
Yeah, we are one of the biggest school districts that probably don't use a lot of the services. We're probably we use the least services.
And then if the need comes up, they're kind of available there if we need it, or there wasn't a season. Good stuff. And you're having a full-time
Well,
person.
and
Part-time job.
like people like CISA 6 or CISA 7 might cost more. We do some services at differences. So, and I know Brad, Mr. Larry, made a comment about something today about that one of the services from CISA 6 costs like $5,000 more than what CISA 12 is offering. So it just depends on where you.
Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, I will entertain the motion. The second, we would take a roll call vote.
Yes.
We have a motion to approve this contract.
I'll make a motion to approve the CISA 12 contract.
Mr. Cody made the motion to the second. Mr. Burnett, any other discussion? If not, we will have a roll call vote. Mr. Mander?
No.
Mr. Cody?
Yes.
Mr. Hirsch?
Yes.
Mr. Gronick?
Yes.
Mr. Post?
Yes.
Ms. Burnett?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Carried. Item F, resolution authorizing issuance of individual procurement cards.
We're gonna turn that over to Cody.
Yeah, so in your board bag, there is a kind of our current setup and situation for credit cards across the district is, there's more variability in it than what I would like. Procurement cards, purchase cards, P cards, they're all kind of the same umbrella. It is a program through the Bank of Montreal that a number of districts and municipalities across our state, really across about 22, 23 different states use. And the benefit of it is really trying to take all of our credit cards and put them under one umbrella in terms of that aspect of things. From my end, I have a district credit card, Mr. Moore has a district credit card, and that necessitates a whole credit limit that has to cover a lot within the district. Now, if I send that card out, we trust our people, but the reality is there's an additional liability there when we send a credit card out that has a large limit to it. What this program allows us to do from my desk, and Wendy and Jenny Keller will be part of this program too, it allows me to basically give a staff member a card and change the credit limit on it to reflect a much more appropriate level for where they're going. If they're checking into a hotel, with a credit card that has a $750 is what it boils down to. So it really decreases the liabilities and the potential issue that we may have with that. It is becoming more and more difficult for our staff to check in to hotels. We're finding a lot of hotels are starting to go to basically kiosks where you can't necessarily talk to somebody. When you're looking to check in, they want the card that the room reservation is under. We can't send the same card to 6 different locations if we're going. I haven't figured that one out yet. So we have had some headaches with getting our groups checked into hotels. We've worked through it. We believe that this program will help us quite a bit. As Peggy said, you might have to give your first warrant up to make a hotel reservation. Eventually. This system does tie to Skyward, which is our financial services system, so it makes really our reconciliation a lot more streamlined and a little bit more effective and efficient for what it's down to. I talked a little bit about transportation in here. We try to send our drivers that are going out of town with a credit card under the district umbrella. In the event that we have an emergency situation, a tire blows and we've got to call a tire service to try to put a tire on a bus, they're typically going to want a credit card of some sort for that service. They're not really going to most often bill us, or if there is really a breakdown, we have to tow somewhere, we've got some means to actually get that service to get where we need to get to. Because we can't open multiple cards under our current system, we sometimes send our drivers short with that, and they have to put those services on their personal credit cards in the past. Of course, reimburse them for that, but this would be another nice situation for us to take care of our people. Most importantly, it's going to provide additional revenue. If we do get a percentage back on the dollars we spend with most personal credit cards, we would have a cash back plan. Essentially, that's additional revenue coming for us. Airline miles or hotel stays, stuff like that. It's a cash back program for us. So those are the really, really big advantages. I've talked to other districts across the state that use this. Roughly 200 school districts have some kind of plan like this. And they really, really do like it. They see the utility of it. So for me, what we need is a resolution indicating that the board would like to go through with this. And then once I get that resolution, I will work through the credit app. We could just do all of those pieces of the puzzle, and the goal is to get this up and running here for really the next fiscal year. So essentially, it's taking all of our variability in credit cards across, myself, Carl, transportation, Walmart's, Sam's Club, Home Depot, throwing them out there. We're going to try to bring it under one umbrella, which will make in our office sleep a little easier, and also hopefully be more efficient and easier for our staff when they go out of town. Any questions that I can answer on that front?
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
I don't want to spend all night discussing this, but first of all, is there a policy that will need to be updated?
So we have a purchasing policy. I don't know if cards are a part of that. I'd have to look. Short answer is
that might be something we would need.
It could be more procedural than policy.
Yeah, and my next is kind of a follow-up to that is, do you or will you have a policy regarding who's going to get the rights?
So that's again a practice. We've had some internal conversations about, I know districts that give one to every employee. I'm not there. I don't believe that's where I'm going for my share, but key people, front office for each building in the event that purchase transportation. We would put them most likely in our vehicles that do travel. We have a Wex card in there currently. That Wex card provides a some level of security, but doesn't give us any benefit back. When we make a purchase, so we're missing out on revenue there. District officer we've had some conversations around potentially their head custodians, and they have to go make an emergency run to the hardware store. Right now, they have to call us, get a purchase order, charge it, walk through it. There'd be some immediacy with that. But this is all monitored. I'm not looking to open up 700 cards that I have to worry about. Right. But we do have the means to track that, the means to understand if there's a reconciliation that have to proceed. So you will have to communicate with my office.
Can I assume that the card holder is going to do that reconciliation?
Well, they will provide the information that we need, that we need checks and balances.
Oh, so just because you have a card, you're not doing the proof?
No. There's a separation of that.
It's coming to me.
Okay.
Which is probably different from some of the private stuff.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Yeah, but that one I want to come through our office to make sure that we're keeping track of what we're buying. Other questions?
I was just gonna, I'm not sure if it's a question more. Just make sure we've got checks and balances in order. I mean, I know you would just probably want to say.
That would be the office, and like I said, the three people in my office, myself, Wendy, and Jenny will be really the overseers and administrators of this program. But it will help us. I do feel confident in that. So I need a resolution that will eventually sign, and then from there I go to the credit app process, which is just 28 pages short.
So how do we say that, Peggy?
Just,
We have a resolution.
just read it as how it's posted on the agenda.
Resolution authorizing the issuance of individual procurement cards. There you go.
We've got a resolution.
Yep, sounds good for it. And I believe I posted the packets.
Is it necessary to read the resolution?
We do not.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to, a resolution authorizing issuance.
I need one to the res.
Okay.
Thing.
I'll second.
This is so moved.
Who seconded? Thank you.
Okay, this will be a roll call vote. Yes. Mr. Hirsch? Yep. Mr. Lampier?
Yes.
Mr. Chronic?
Yes.
Mr. Colley?
Here.
Mr. Knapp?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw, yes. That here?
That was funny.
Yes.
Okay, item 8G is consolidation of bus.
Yeah, we are looking at, just consolidating the route, saving money. I mean, Art, do you want to touch base since you're here on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's, when I started here in August of last year, it was too late to do anything. So we pretty much kept everything just the way it was the year before. As time went on, we were, from checking cameras and from doing student lists, we're finding out that our buses are, if we're running half full, we're lucky. And so what we did, we talked to Cody about this a while ago, we had spacing down at the bus garage, go through our service finder, and we basically, it wasn't 100% accurate, but we did like a mock-up of 8 routes. And basically, most of them were in the Poplar, Amicon, Hawthorne area. We did 8 routes. We found out that we could knock that down to 7 routes. 7 of the routes would not have had an earlier start time or a later drop off, only 1 would. And that was without playing with it, which we will do. But just putting people in their area. We're finding out we have far too many drivers crisscrossing our district, just from the last couple of years, hiring new drivers, not putting them where they belong. So we're real confident that this can be done. We didn't touch the Iron River, the rule yet. Cody kind of wanted us just to take a look at it and see if it was something that was possible. I'm very confident that by removing this road here, we need to get our ridership up. We need to start loading the buses a little bit more. We'll have some buses coming into the schools in the morning with 20 to 30 kids. And that's elementary and high school. Those schools. So, we're trying to become a little more efficient. Like I said, I'm very confident that this is something that can happen.
So it's another step in analyzing our operational costs and trying to be as efficient as we can with what we have. The reality is that we're not as big as we have been. Student enrollment, we have heard that, and therefore we don't have as many students riding the buses. So this doesn't necessarily save us, we're still gonna cover the ground, the district isn't shrinking, so there's still gonna be, some mileage that we gotta cover. We'll save some money on fuel, some money on some salary benefits for staff, going down a bus driver. The biggest savings comes in now we have one less. We currently run 16 what we call general routes and 3 special education routes. We put on the 15 general routes. We still need the 3 special education routes just because we are 500 square miles wide and we have that ground coverage. So this, Art and I have been chatting about how do we just make this as efficient as possible without trying to impact the drop-off times or pickup times and drop-off times. It is very early. I want to be very clear with that. Those routes will get built usually in July. But we're trying to continue to be as efficient as we possibly can with the resources that we have.
Is it a problem where my kids are very different. Some days they're at, the bus goes open at 7:45. Like, Joey's gotta get there for basketball. So, but some days they're at the bus, some days they don't. Is there a ton of kids like that? Is there a way to have, I don't know, not text the bus driver, but save? I don't know how to do that.
I know what you're saying. There's a lot of riders that are just like that. And we have a lot of riders that have 4 different drop-offs from broken families and everything. That's one of our biggest problems right now. Is we have too many stops for the children. But,
we have a very complex transportation puzzle. Let's call it 500 square miles wide. And we try to do the best we can, but the reality is we're not an Uber service either. That's part of what we're trying to. We try to work with our parents, provide the best service that we can, but I can talk with our principals. At the end of the day, it gets complex when we get a phone call. 600 elementary students. We get a phone call late saying, well, so-and-so is not going to be here, so I need to shuffle them over here. Kudos to our transportation department, all the logistics that work with that. It's difficult, but it's tough to sustain and continue, to be completely honest with you, because of all the moving parts.
So
no direct route to one space in one place.
I can answer the question. So we're not asking the license office part of this.
Correct.
That's not part. So seems like you're doing a great job looking at this from an assessment perspective. That's fantastic. Is there really anything necessary from the board to approve it? I'm not sure what we're even.
We'd approve going down one general.
I didn't know that would be part of work.
It's technically.
On the one route that's getting earlier and later, how much later?
That one was showing that I think normally what we want to do is we don't want to pick kids up before 6:15. We don't want to drop kids off later than 5 o'clock. That route, when like I said, we took one driver, we moved her over. That was going to have her picking up at 5:45. And like I said, but that was just playing with numbers. That was now we could shift another driver.
So you think you could mitigate that?
When we first talked about it, we thought maybe we needed that extra 15 minutes. We don't want to do that, but until we create these routes this summer.
Yeah, well, that's a different story if we're talking about picking up kids at 5:45. I think a lot of us would be like, really? Raise eyebrows there.
That is not our, there's going to be some kids that live, there's some that are extremely far out, down south of Louisville, that they have to. There's going to be, for instance, where we have to. They're living as far away from us as they possibly can. And so we are picking some of them up at 6 o'clock. But that's not what we want. We want to build roads so that doesn't happen. But I can't guarantee you, everybody will be 6:15 later. I can't guarantee that.
There's some all others. That's all there is to it. I don't have an easy button on this one. We gotta cover the ground, we gotta cover. And without running a direct route, I think that's out for those students out. But like I said, this is a complex puzzle. It really is.
Any other questions? I would entertain a motion to approve, allow consolidation of the bus routes.
Make a motion to approve going from reduction of one bus route for 24, 25. And
We have a motion here, second.
Okay.
Second. Any other discussion? Yeah, roll call vote on this. Mr. Ladner.
Yep.
Ms. Burnett.
Yes.
Mr. Powell.
Yes.
Mr. Probst. Mr. Hirsch.
Yes.
Mr. Riley.
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Motion carried, thank you. Item 8H, final partial non-renewal notice for 24-25 four-year-old kindergarten at Iron River Elementary School.
Yeah, at this time, the student numbers do not support a 4K program at Iron River Elementary School. I do believe we only have 6.
Yes, correct. We're currently sitting at the same number. We have not added in despite looking into really good.
So we would bus those students in the Iron River attendance area to NES if they choose to participate in the district's 4K program. This final goes for 81B. So
If more students.
if more students came in, we would go back to look at that program.
Because they might be there, but not just.
Yeah.
What's the number? What's the magic?
I believe at the March meeting, we talked about the number was 9. Right. So yeah, so we need 9 for that program, so we need at least 3 more students.
And she got a layoff notice last year and then the kids came through and.
I'm not sure about that, I wasn't here last year.
Mr. Probst, I think that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
It has happened before.
It has happened.
And if anybody hasn't followed it, we just have to follow the statutes which outline when notices have to be given. So it's a little bit of a formality. We have to do it. If the kids come, that's excellent. That's what we want. Just right now, we need to make sure we cover our bases.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we've talked to Ms. Lundy about that.
Yes.
Yep, we've had several conversations as the years come.
I actually followed up with last week.
Are we doing as good? Is there anything we can do more to reach those kids or?
We had
This creates a lot of uncertainty for
Yeah,
staff.
I mean, we had a 4K night, NES, back in early April. We promoted it all over Iron River. It's been on Facebook. We've gone to the early childhood centers and looked at their numbers as well. I think, grassroots wise and technology wise, we've gotten the word out there kind of a lot, so especially in the last month. So, yeah.
Driving.
And it's worth noting that we see a decrease in birth rates right now. I've talked to other agencies around us that are also looking at a small group of 4-year-olds. So it's not because we're not trying. There's just not a lot of kids out there right now.
Is it pandemic or?
That would be the families impacted were at 2000. So it lines up. And it's expensive to raise kids right now.
Those kids can still use the bus to get here.
Yes.
Do they get picked up at home or do they have to be at the school or both?
So because if they do choose to be bused, they would be picked up at home anyway, because those buses run their route, go to Iron River, drop kids off throughout Iron River, and then come over to NES. So they would still be picked up at the same time as if they were going to Iron River. It's just that they have an extra 20-minute drive on the way over, and then obviously on the way back. If parents chose to drive their kid into school, they could drive them to Iron River, kind of like our middle school, high school kids do, and then they enter through the building and get on the bus and then come out.
Well, let's hope we get more kids. They're out there, I'm sure they're out. Oh,
Yeah, we need a motion.
need a motion? Second roll call vote. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve the final partial.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second. Sonic. A roll call vote, Mr. Blonick.
Yes.
Mr.
Mr. Ladner,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Net.
Yes.
Mr. Probst. Yep. Okay.
That was item H. We did item I already, so I think we're on number 9, administrative reports. More.
Communications, we had thank you notes, were received from the family of Virgil Nelson, Greg Nelson's father, with him passing, so, want to pass that on. Graduation for our 2024, seniors, May 24th. We need 2 board members, we want to volunteer to participate.
What's going on, you guys?
What's that?
Adam and Vince, all right, got you on. Okay. The season.
I worked, you know what, I get dressed up twice a year. That's one.
CISA 12 convention is Thursday, May 9th, in Ashland. It is requested that our CISA 12 representative attend.
There's some question here on this.
Yeah.
So,
We don't need to discuss it now, but we'll talk after.
yeah,
Okay.
if they're able to attend, I can.
All right.
I have no idea.
Okay. You talked about that. District maintenance report was included in packets.
Any questions? Any questions on the maintenance report? Some bigger ticket items, replacing motors there, some annual inspections is part of what we have to do every year with the boiler systems. General electrical work at the high school that has to happen. We get to a mainline water inspection in terms of the pipes coming into our building from our wells. That's part of the DNR process. Every school district, every public water system is going through that, so that was completed as well. And other than that, that's general maintenance.
Do that question. I meant to ask you earlier, and I forgot. This year at the middle school, pumped out the manholes along Highway 2 at least 3 times this past month.
Yep.
My sole question.
Well, springtime water's running, essentially is what it boils down to. So we, those are, for those of you who aren't aware, it's the, right on Highway 2, it's on both sides, what we do the north and south side of the road. We have alarm systems in there. It's accessing the water mains that runs from our pump house to the middle school. It's grown a lot of that seeps in there, looking at manholes that eventually can get high enough. If it gets high enough, it gets into a bleeder valve, which then can, if it was passed, this has happened years ago, can cause issues with our water system. So when those alarms go off, this will Dean from middle school sees them, and he goes up there with drops basically sun pump down, sucks that groundwater level down, so it doesn't ever come close.
Okay, so we're pumping it up, we're not hiring somebody to go and use this.
Yeah. And that goes down, like I said, it's always busy in the spring for the reasons that we all know.
No, I was concerned that you were hiring somebody to do that. Throw a sump.
No, that's what this room needs to.
Possibly, okay.
Save on the road, give away.
WASB legislative correspondence report.
Dan, what was that say?
You've had an hour. CISA 12 report, Mr. Blonick.
Okay. We just had our board retreat on May 2nd, which I was attended. We talked about some of the responsibilities of board members in regard to student issues. It was good times. CISA 12 will be holding a leadership retreat in June. They invite all the leadership teams from all our districts. The early learning technical assistance and information grant, Sue Erickson talked to us about it. She helps provide various degrees of support within our districts. A few items that technical assistance and support focuses on include special education, early childhood, along with early literacy practices and strategies. End of the month, we have the annual convention, which we kind of re-elect our president. It's kind of like our same, like tonight's, as CISA 12 where we do that. And Jennifer Levine will be taking over as the statewide RSN, but will continue as the director of special education for CISA 12 as well.
Thank you. Donations, Mr. Moore?
Yep, thank you to Teresa and the Luke Schmidt family for the donation of a set of 3 conga drums and stands worth $750 to the Northwestern bands. Chippewa Valley Bank donated $2,500 to Northwestern Elementary School. Melissa Bartlett and Angela Mack provided financial literacy information with the 4th grade students. Michigan Covenant Church has donated several big boxes of food and fresh produce for students' use and 4 new jackets. Brenda Gergen of Hawthorne donated a bag of fidget toys for the Tiger Store. And the district received the following donations to put toward the new turf project. Northwestern Youth Football donated $5,000. Nancy and Andy Lynn donated $3,000. Dr. Joseph Richards donated $1,000. Mike Granlund donated $1,000. Gary and Carol Lupica donated $1,000, and Virgil and Marilyn Nelson donated $1,000 for a total of $13,000. And correct, 12. Sorry, apologies. And we are close to getting our final memorandums of understanding with some of our sponsors, and we will be letting those out soon. So everybody will be totally out. So, that's the information. Yeah.
Okay, reports from Northwestern High School, Middle School, Western Elementary, Niagara River Elementary School Director of Special Ed and the Athletic Director Activities Coordinator are included in all packets. We appreciate those very much. You do all our work, and we can read it. If it got all work.
That's a good stuff.
Yeah, I can see how busy you are. You get tired. A lot of stuff going on in the school. It's a great part, great thing for all these communities. Student reps, Mr. Burkhardt.
Mr. Barker could not make it tonight, so I will be covering for both of us. He's currently golfing for the boys golf team.
School activity.
School section.
Starting with the sports, the softball team is currently 2nd in the conference, and they are looking to continue winning their last few regular season games. They prepare for their postseason. Our next game tomorrow, an away game, Cumberland. It's a little bit of a drive, but not too far. The baseball team is currently 4th in the conference, and they have had some very competitive games. Their next game is Friday. Track and field has had several meets this past month, and they are hoping to create a competitive team as they start looking to regionals. And they also have a couple more belts. Meets. The boys and girls are kind of at different numbers, different spots around along the way, but they've won a couple meets, so that's really good for them. The boys golf team has a meet tonight versus Cameron, and they're at home. And then they had several postponements early in April, but they are excited to continue golfing. They have 3 more meets. 2 of them are meets, and 1 of them is an invitational. And then we had some of our clubs here tonight talk about what's going on. There's a few other teams. Many students from the bands and choirs showcased their talents at the state solo ensemble competition this weekend. Several of the choir small groups received the highest score of a 1, kind of like equates to a gold medal, and they had some really great showings, lots of silver medals from the soloists, and golds and bronze, and they really did a great job. DECA recently sent their president, Josie Kreuzer, to the DECA International Competition, where her qualifying project was judged. This was just in April in California. Green Club and FFA hosted a joint highway cleanup on the 28th, where they cleaned the adopted highway outside of the school. And the National Honor Society inducted 12 new members in the middle of April at their yearly induction ceremony. Kind of crossed out some of the clubs that already talked.
Thank you very much. Okay, item K.
Can I give a shout out quick?
Yeah.
You made a mention to Maria earlier. If you didn't have a chance to be at the senior honor banquet, how many times you walked past that stage to get an award?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, well. Just saying, her name was called a lot. This girl has earned a lot of, and you know what, what's interesting to me is the diversity in her awards. It wasn't just all like one thing. Like, she was in math and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was just crazy. It was a long list of awards, so kudos to you. Great job.
Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is her last meeting.
It is.
It is. We're gonna miss you.
Thank you very much.
Like I said, you got big things ahead of you. It's great to watch.
And I don't know, Mr. Carlson, we have.
And has it been revealed where you're going to school?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to share that?
Oh, sure. Next year I'm gonna be going to Columbia.
Wow. Ivy League, holy cow. You're here.
Well, that's awesome. Gee, staff, student, community recognition.
We do have something I'd like to personally recognize. First of all, I want to recognize the Northwestern Elementary School PTA, the President Misty Eisen, Vice President Judith Cheney, Treasurer Anna Kern, the Secretary Jennifer Zidlow. What the PTA has done to raise money for the NES is just phenomenal. It really is. And I also like to recognize the Iron River Elementary PTO team with Nicole Lesser, Kate Holtzman, and Megan Hughes. What they do in Iron River to try to make sure that they have the best of the best. It's just they go above and beyond. And all these ladies give up volunteer their time. They really do a great job, and I just want to recognize them for all their hard work. And if you're listening, ladies, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everything you do for our kids. So thank you.
I think I mentioned it another time. Not just raising the funds, but they make it fun for the kids and the parents. They do it involved. It's really kind of a glue.
And really support the teachers.
Yep, yeah, support the teachers. Absolutely. Huge. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Item 10, comments.
Which is National Teacher Appreciation Week, so pass on thanks to all the teachers.
Great job. Yep. We're going around to the all the schools tomorrow, starting at 7:30. I've got I sent everybody an email. No, we don't just do the teachers here at Northwestern because you have all these different days throughout the year. You know, whether it's the admin assistants, it's the custodials, the bus drivers. We try to recognize everybody. A big shot, and I would start 7:30 in the morning and go from building to building, and I have a special something for everybody of our staff. So deliver those handles.
Okay, now that we have concluded the business of the board, we'll end the live stream. The comments from the public agenda items not before